All right, let's move on to artboard number 2. And I'm going to zoom in on artboard number 2 to see this bottom part. So you can see the example up here. We're going to make some triangles and squares. And in the past, you guys know how to make a triangle and a square and then use the shape builder to merge them, and voila, everything's done. Perfectly good workflow. However, let's learn how to use the pen to do this as well. So choose the pen tool, and before we get going, let's turn our smart guides on. So turn the smart guides on, and that gives us these magenta lines. It helps us see when things are perfectly horizontal and vertically straight. So take your pen tool, and we're going to come over to our work area, and we're going to click once where we see the start button. And when our smart guides are on, it's going to try to snap to a certain point. So it might not be exactly where you clicked, and that's fine. That's expected behavior when we have our smart guides on. We expect them to do that. With your smart guide on, notice that you see measurements. So if this template were not here and I told you just to go up 1.5 inches, you can actually see that. And in order to keep this straight with our smart guides on, it's actually pretty easy. We don't have to work too hard, whereas with the smart guides off, we might wobble off just a little bit. So come up here when you see a 1.5, click there to set your straight line anchor point. We're going to quickly turn off our smart guides. So the keyboard shortcut for our smart guides is Command letter U. And when I did that, I want you to notice that all of those magenta lines went away. And notice it's not as easy to draw a straight line, like, oh, that seems straight, but it's not, or that's not. So whenever we don't have smart guides on, we need to rely on using some keyboard shortcuts to get perfectly straight lines. So for this one, we're going to hold Shift, and that's going to keep us rotating at 90 degrees straight lines or 45-degree angles. So holding Shift, I want you to come out to this anchor point number 3, and we're going to click here and then let go of our Shift key. So point 4, it doesn't need to be a 45-degree angle, so without holding the Shift key, we're fine. We're going to get whatever angle we draw. So 4, come down and click on 5, same thing. But to get this perfectly straight line here on number 6, we're going to have to hold down Shift. Now we get a perfectly straight line. We're going to continue to hold down Shift to get our perfectly straight line to 7. And then we're going to continue to hold down Shift. And when we come back to our starting point and our cursor changes to say that we're going to connect the two, we click one more time. And that completed a closed path for us. So making straight lines with the pen tool is relatively easy. If you have your smart guides on, it's pretty easy to do. If they're off or you're not sure, just hold down the Shift key and you're going to get 45-degree or 90-degree lines. Straight lines are 45-degree angles. So if you end up wanting an angle, this angle, if it's not 45, you would not be able to hold Shift. You'd want to just freeform this angle. So that is straight lines with the pen, which is great and easy. And now we're going to learn how to make curved paths with the pen, and that's where the intuitiveness kind of goes away. So please don't get frustrated. Keep practicing and it will make sense.